All right, guys, I am Jeffrey Viscaino here with Playbill, your social media director, here with the one, the only, Jeremy Jordan. How's it going, man?
There's actually a couple other Jeremy Jordans, but I'll be the one and only just for you.
For Broadway, you are
for Broadway. Okay,
you are
yes.
the one and only.
Yeah, for now. But yeah, that's me. I'm good. I'm excited to share this little ditty with the world.
Well, let's talk about it. I mean, coming in here, getting the full movie treatment poster and everything here behind you. I mean, how cool is that?
You know, it's always pretty cool to see stuff like that, yeah.
Well, let's talk about it. So, Bonnie and Clyde concert pro shot coming out on June 24th.
Right.
I mean, I know listening to your other interviews, you kind of got thrown into this really quick whirlwind for you. But tell me, what was this like in London?
It was wild. I mean, I showed up on a red-eye flight and then did a full day of rehearsal. The whole cast had been rehearsing for like a week at that point, or maybe slightly less than a week, but a while. And they were like, and I was like, oh, this is a concert, but like we're doing some staging. Okay, got it. I was like, maybe I'll have my book. No, off book, full costumes. There was like a set. There was full lighting, microphones. I mean, there was a massive band. It was like basically a full production. And I was like, okay, what have I agreed to? And you know, just your adrenaline kicks in. You're like, well, I can't not do it, so I'm gonna have to just make it happen. So I just studied and didn't get a whole lot of sleep for that week, and we shot it over a couple of performances that we did, which were really thrilling. I mean, the audiences in London are some of, if not the best audiences that I've ever performed in front of. So that was always a thrill and definitely a boost because, you know, when we ran it in front of 2,000 people was the first time we ran it through, like without stopping. You know, we did a tech rehearsal literally earlier that day, which was like, oh, let's tech through this. And then after about 20 minutes, we're like, we have time for a run through. So there might be lights, there might not. We'll see what happens.
And that feels like old school, like regional theater back in the days. We're like, we're just throwing this up as quick as we can.
Truly,
get in there, get in, get out.
Truly, like summer stock.
Yeah, for sure. So tell me, because we were lucky enough, we got an early clip that we posted on our socials of you performing a little bit of A Little Hell.
Raise a Little Hell.
Raise a Little Hell, exactly.
Yeah.
Which, like, I have to say, your fans are going nuts for it. It's all over TikTok, all over. People love that. And you can see from that clip, it's not a concert version. You've got, I mean, the full everything going on there.
Yeah, I got props.
Yeah, you got props.
There's blood.
Exactly.
I don't remember doing any of that.
Yeah, it's all
I don't know
blurred.
when that happened.
Yeah.
Somebody off stage just threw it on my face, I guess. I don't know. It's all a blur.
But tell me, did it come back to you really easily? Was it just riding a bike whole situation?
Yeah. I mean, you know, some of the songs I performed in concerts, but like all the dialogue, I mean, it was the whole show.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they cut down a couple little bits, but yeah, it all came back pretty easily. I mean, you know, you do a show even for a couple months. I mean, I also did it in Florida before we came to Broadway. You know, but you do a show like that, and it was really special to me, and like a really specific point in my life, and it was still in there, like very much so.
Well, you say it's special to you. I mean, the fans of the show still very special to them as well.
Yeah.
What is it about Bonnie and Clyde, this Frank Wildhorn show, do you think connects to so many people that love it, even though it's been a while since I've been on Broadway? They're such diehards for this show.
Yeah, I think it sort of, at the time, like it broke the mold a little bit of you know, Broadway. Now there's no mold anywhere. It's all over the place, which is great. But like at the time, you know, getting to like go full out with like that hard rockabilly like things. I've talked to a couple of younger people who are like up and coming in theater, and they've all told me that Bonnie and Clyde was like one of the things that like got them excited. And I think it was just the fact that it was bold and unapologetic, and you know, for some reason it didn't connect at the time.
Sure.
But it has developed this huge cult following. It's not a hard show to put up, you know. It's in one set, and it's just you know, who doesn't like shooting guns and running from the law?
Absolutely. And then tell me, because for me, I guess the lore of Bonnie and Clyde, it feels very American, like it is American. Was there, I mean, obviously you said that you had huge crowds for the concert, but British audiences, UK audiences ate it right up as well. It's a story they connected to as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, American culture is so widespread worldwide. And, you know, this show specifically has commentary, especially on what life was like in the South back then, which I don't think resonated a whole lot when we did it in America. And then when we did it here, it was just like, oh, like there was no bias, you know, like when you do a show that sort of like talks down on like some bad things that were going on in the country, even if it was 100 years ago, like, oh, don't talk about my country that way. But they didn't care over there. They're like, oh yeah, they loved it. They ate it up, and you'll hear it in the reactions.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool to be able to like do unapologetic commentary over there.
Absolutely. So tell me, because all new cast with this, you were jumping in last minute with everyone else already in rehearsals. I mean, for this production, because I will call it a production, because from what I've seen,
it's a production.
Like people are like, oh, it's a pro shot. I'm like, it was a concert, but it's also like it was a lot.
Well, that's also like why I agreed to just show up. I was like, they're gonna be rehearsing a little bit before. I was like, oh, well, none of them have done it. Like I did it before. I'm gonna show up for and do like the last few days. It's a concert. It's not a big deal. Like I had other gigs that I had to sort of schedule around it. And I was like, oh, I should have been here the whole time. Anyway.
So tell me, for this production, what are some like core memories you took away from doing this show?
Well, the cast was really, really, really awesome.
Yeah.
So made some good friends. I mean, Francis is a really remarkable performer, and George and Natalie, who are sort of flanked here, are also amazing. And we just had like a lot of fun too. And I felt very taken care of, and I never really felt like I was like the dude that had already done the show that was like, oh, this guy thinks he knows it all, you know,
the
like
American.
I know, like I guess I wasn't really worried about that, but I felt really supported and taken care of, and you know, it was really weird to be like the veteran coming back into something. Like it was the first time I'd ever felt like I was like a little bit on a pedestal at that. But I never felt like the expectation was something that I couldn't meet.
Sure.
So.
All right, very last question for you. We cannot talk about your current role right now over the Broadway Theater doing Gatsby, and I was thinking about it on my walk over here. I mean, this role as Clyde and then Gatsby, two tragic American stories here. These guys. What is it that draws you to these type of characters?
Well, it's fun to die on stage. So I've done it a lot.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's funny because they're the exact same time period too, which is the 1920s in America. Just two like completely couldn't be more different.
Yeah.
I think maybe I was born in the wrong era, but aside from that, I just think that these sort of iconic stories are really exciting to tell, and getting to play like these really well-known characters, whether they were real or not, and finding a way to bring them to life and to make them as three-dimensional as possible, and to breathe maybe new life into them that maybe people wouldn't expect is always a fun challenge for me.
Awesome. Love to hear it. Thank you for talking with us. Guys, you can head to BonnieClydeLive.com.
Bonnie Clyde Live.
There you go. BonnieClydeLive.com, coming out on June 24th, the stream.
That's right.
I'm sure everyone is so excited about this. If you look at our posts on Playbill, everyone is like literally counting down the days for it. They're so excited about it. So congratulations on everything. Excited to see it.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks so much.
All right.